Hello, this is Melam.
And this is Oki. And welcome to True Crime in Texas, the English version.
English version.
So welcome to the English version of episode 24. You may already have listened to the Thai version earlier today about Todd Kohlhepp. He's a serial killer known in South Carolina. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into the case. On August 31st, 2016, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, the police received a missing report of a couple. So the people that are missing are Charles Carver, who's a 32-year-old man, and his girlfriend, Kayla Brown, who's 30 years old. So Charles' dad reported them missing, and in the community, because it's a small town, a lot of people also helped him trying to look for both Charles and Kayla. He put up signs, he had flyers everywhere, a lot of people helped looking for this couple. And nothing really happened. Nothing turned up. The police tried to look into where they were going, about their life as well. It wasn't until 2 months that they gained traction on this case. So after that 2 months, they tracked their phone, Kayla's phone, and Charles's phone. And typically you can get tracking how they pinged off different phone towers. And they found out that their phones were being pinged off a specific area in South Carolina. And in the meantime, they were also investigating about the couple's life. And they came upon Facebook posts, and they were talking about how they were hired to clean a house that was going to be for sale, both Charles and Kayla. So not only did they found the phone where the property is, they also heard about the cleaning house job. And the property was owned by none other than the person we are talking about today, which is Todd Kohlhepp. But before we keep going, we want to say that Todd Kohlhepp is a realtor. He's a real estate agent. He actually owns his own real estate company. And the land that we're talking about, he has like as big as 95 acres. It's a huge piece of land. The guy is doing pretty well for himself. He's quite popular in the real estate world at this time. Because they found that the phone was paying off his property, as well as knowing the last whereabouts of Charles and Kayla being on Todd Kohlhepp's property at a house that he was going to sell, they immediately obtained a warrant for the property itself, as well as going to talk to Todd about, do you know anything that happened to this couple? So on that day, which is 2 months later after they filed the missing report, which is November 3rd, 2016, 2 different sets of police went to search for the couple. One went to his property where they think they can find the phone. And then the other went to Todd and his office. So when they went to the property, trying to pretty much locate the phone or where it pings off of this phone tower, they came upon a shipping container. So just imagine the big shipping container that you see that gets put on a truck, that gets delivered. The police gets there, and then it was kind of odd to see this shipping container in a field. And they suddenly, getting closer to it, they hear a knocking, right? It's metal.
From inside?
From the inside, they hear this knocking. And of course, it immediately became alarmed. They hear noises in there. They hear someone screaming in there. When they went out, they also brought in the K9 unit. So there were dogs there trying to figure out what's going on, because they don't know if there was any surprises that we're going to come upon. After breaking into the heavy locked of this shipping container, they discovered that there was somebody inside it. The person inside was the woman of the couple that was missing, Kayla Brown.
Caleb Brown.
Caleb Brown was found chained up against the wall where there was a chain that was also connected to her neck like a dog collar. She was malnourished, but there was a small mattress. She had some items in there. Of course, Kayla was very surprised. She was scared, and then the police calmed her down, told her that she's safe, she was going to be okay. She immediately told the police that about her boyfriend. She merely told them that Todd Kohlhepp had killed her boyfriend on that day that they came to clean the house, immediately shot Charles to death, and kept her in that shipping container. And that whole entire time, the whole entire 2 months that they were looking for them, she had been in there. So she was in there for 65 days. And in the meantime, while this is happening, the police on the other side of this search party, of course, the one that went to see Todd at his office, they communicated with each other. At first, they went to talk to Todd to see if he knew anything about the whereabouts. Todd was the main boss in the office. He's a 47-year-old man. His name is on the real estate everywhere. They communicated with the police group that they had found Kayla in the shipping container. Kayla had told them that Charles had been shot dead and that his body is buried nearby. And the police told Todd this. And Todd acted as if he didn't know. He just said, "Mom, what did he say?"
I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. He denied the whole thing. Little does he know. Kayla already named him. And then also the police continued looking in the area because Kayla informed them that there were other bodies that were buried nearby. Comes to find out, there are other bodies that were buried. There were 2 other bodies.
And they found out Charles first.
They found Charles first, yes. Kayla explained to the police that when she was put in a shipping container, she was threatened by Todd. She was being told that, hey, if you don't obey, if you don't do what I say, your fate is going to be just like the other couple that are buried nearby. This is what she told the police. And then the police found the bodies of the couple. The other couple who have been missing for 6 months at this point, you want to tell them their name?
Yes, Johnny Coxey, 29 years old, and Megan Coxey, 26 years old.
Right, and they were actually lured by Todd Kohlhepp to do the same thing as Kayla and Charles. They went to go clean a house. Kayla then decided after Todd threatened her to obey him, she did everything that he told her to because she didn't want to get buried just like the other couple did, knowing the whole time that her boyfriend had been shot already dead from day one. So Todd is immediately arrested at his office. And before we keep going to what happens after he gets arrested, let's talk about Todd a little bit.
Okay.
Let's get to know him a little bit because this guy is crazy nuts. So Todd was born on March 7th, 1971 in Florida, but he moved to South Carolina and Georgia because his parents were divorced when he was 2 years old. His mom got custody of Todd, took care of him, and just quickly after they moved, she married. The stepfather immediately adopted him, right?
So he used last name of his stepfather.
Right, Kohlhepp. Todd's childhood mainly was focused on him. He was a troubled child. He was really aggressive. He pretty much just kind of bounced back and forth of just being in fights with people or just picking on a lot of people. By the time he was 9 years old, he was already going through counseling to try to control his anger, try to control his mood, his emotions. He even went to a psychiatric hospital when he was younger. the conclusion was that he was just a very troubled kid. Like his IQ is really high. He's always been a smart kid, smart person throughout his childhood, throughout his adulthood, but he just
cannot control himself.
He just couldn't control himself, correct. He did really crazy things, such as putting Clorox in a fish tank, or, I'm sorry to say this because it's animal cruelty, he used BB guns on a dog. This is a making of a serial killer right here. Anybody that loves true crime knows this, that any serial killer starts off with hurting animals and things like that. Eventually, Todd decided to move to live with his father in Arizona after not getting along with his mom or not getting along with his stepfather. And in Arizona is when he got into bigger trouble. When he was only 15 years old in 1986, he kidnapped a 14-year-old girl. He threatened her with a gun, made her go to his house. I think she lived nearby. And he was watching her anyway, and raped her. And he threatened her that you better not tell anybody or I will kill you. I will kill your family. When he was done, he took her back to her home and pretty much left. The girl, who is very smart, she's traumatized, but very smart, immediately told. You know, she didn't believe him. All right, she immediately told her parents, and they immediately got the police. Todd then was charged with kidnapping. He was charged with sexual assault, and he went to prison for 15 years. And he had to register as a sex offender. In August 2001, Todd was released from prison after serving 14 years. And after that, he moved to South Carolina with his mother. But in the meantime, while he was in prison, he got like a college degree.
Yes.
He got like a high school degree, a college degree. He's a smart guy. So he used his time being in prison to get a bachelor's degree in computer science. He worked as a graphic designer in Spartanburg. He did all these little odd jobs until he became a real estate agent. I don't know how he was able to get a license when he's a registered sex offender, but that happened. So that brings us back to now, to where Todd was arrested. And then once he was arrested, when we were trying to figure out how to prosecute him, all this stuff, he just asked for a few things.
He asked for 3 things. First is he want to talk to his mom. He want to send the photograph to his mom.
What
And
photograph? I don't know.
I don't know too.
Yeah.
And he want to transfer the money to be a college fund for his friend kid. That's all he asked.
And I think from what we researched, that when he talked to his mom was when he confessed to the murders of the 2 couples. Right.
And he also confessed to the 4 people that he has killed 12 years ago.
Which became a big surprise with the police, because they were just talking about him kidnapping and killing the 2 couples. But then he also mentioned about the 4 people that happened 12 years ago, like you said. So with that, on November 6, 2003, which was like 12 years prior to his arrest, it was at Superbike Motorsports, which is a motorcycle shop in Chesney. As Lam told you guys from the Thai version, Todd went to the store trying to return something. He was told no. And with his temper and with his anger, returned to the shop again, right, and just started shooting. The 4 people that he shot were the owner, Scott Ponder, of 30 years old, a service manager, Brian Lucas, who was 29, mechanic, Chris Sherbert, of 26 years old, and the bookkeeper, Beverly Guy, of 52 years old, who was also the owner's mother. All these guys died from gunshot wounds. The case was not solved. It was an unsolved cold case. And Todd confessed to that, which cleared his conscience.
The police know because they didn't release how they killed, but Todd confessed that he killed by in
Gunshot
forehead.
wound to the head, right. A lot of times people will confess and they might just try to gain notoriety, or they might just try to get the police to keep talking to continue so they don't go to the trial yet. So the police still has to make sure that he is truly confessing to the crime that he is by, matching some of the confession. A lot of times the police keep certain information from the public. That way you can tell exactly who knew what. Todd definitely
Killed 4 people.
killed those 4 people. On May 26, 2017, Todd pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of criminal sexual assault. And he was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. There was a plea bargain. Pretty much when they interviewed him, the lawyers did their job, and he was spared from capital punishment. So he would not be getting the injections because South Carolina does have a death penalty policies. Yeah.
Now in USA, we still have 27 states that have death penalty.
Right. So today's case was a little different. We focused on the serial killer, Todd Kohlhepp, in South Carolina instead of some other crimes. And that is it for today. So thank you, everyone, for coming by and listening to the English version. I hope you
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you listened to the Thai version as well. Please subscribe and comment. We really enjoy everything that you guys write to us. We get really excited talking about it. We start showing our friends all the comments as well, and they love it as well. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.